Let's try to dive into the mind of Rocaine and see what he thinking. This your boy Antonio and this Cash made ENT.
Trap, slap. Word. I don't give a fuck, I need racks. Can't keep dummy on strap. Bullets go through a nigga.
Going into the mind of Detroit artist Rocaine, it's a lot to see. Growing up in Detroit on 8 Mile to be exact, you see a lot of crazy things in a city like this. Guns, drugs, and violence. And it's not unusual for somebody to embrace their surroundings as they are. And that's exactly what Rocaine did. He embraced the street life because it was probably the only life that he knew. But in a way, it also was good for him because it gave him something to speak on in his music. But what's that process like for Rocaine? Well, like he said in the interview for Show Mag, in order for him to get into that zone, drugs are usually his key into that creative world.
So does that mean that in order for you to make music, you have to be under the influence?
Yes, you do.
So from that, we can understand why in most of his interviews and all the times that you see him, he's mostly laid back and chill, because for the most part, he's not a sober person. Now, being from the streets and that being your main source of income and how you feed yourself and things like that, of course, when you rap, that's going to play a role into your music. And Rocaine considers himself somewhat of a dope man, and I think that's one of the reasons why he hasn't dropped a mixtape yet, because he's not fully committed himself yet to the music, because in the streets, he's more comfortable. You ever watch one of Rocaine's videos and he kind of just looking crazy and his eyes just kind of wandering off? That's the drugs in him, that's the crazy in him, and that's the beast in him coming out. That's the dope man in him, always watching and always ready for anything to happen. But at the same time, he does know that if he does take things seriously, he can go far. Because as crazy as he might seem, he is thinking big. He even said it himself, he wants to be somewhat of a Bill Gates, someone who changes the way we view things and interact with each other. So in that sense, he's not just a rapper, he's a guy trying to make something out of nothing. Well, with all that being said, is there another side of Rocaine? A softer side? Well, there actually is and there isn't, because Rocaine tried exploring that side of him, but the song still ended up sounding like a street song instead of kind of a love song.
I'm all. If a nigga could, I stack cash to buy your heart, but you can't buy love, you just gotta play a part. I love wearing Joes. I see you in the truths. If they say that I'm a chooser, baby, you the one I choose.
So it's not like he's incapable of those emotions, it's just that's the only way he knows how to express it in music. Because being in a city like Detroit and being a man in general, showing the soft side is considered a sign of weakness, and don't nobody want to look weak. And Rocaine knows this, so he kind of just lets his aggressive side take over and run things. And there's no truest sign of this, like when Rocaine decided one day he just gonna fight everybody else beef in the city and try to squash it. Because the Rocaine in his head, that made sense, but the city still loved him for it, and everybody and their mama was on Periscope watching it, switching in between people's accounts to get different angles, and it somewhat worked because now he's cool with Band Gang, but with some other people it's like we fought, now it's over, we done with the sneak this and all that thugging on Twitter. So this was basically kind of a way of bringing the city together. He's like, okay, let's put the guns down, let's fight like men and get it over with, so we can all move on, make music together, and we can win together. So those are the kind of good things that came from it. The only bad things is he got shot. I guess some people don't want to work things out, but luckily he did recover from that incident, and it only made him stronger and it made him more popular. So Rocaine's not just a dope man as we labeled him, not just a trapper and things like that. He just a man, just a dude rapping, trying to make some money.